Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another indie comic book review. We are tired. We just went through Media Madness today, and it's pretty late. And Mario. You guys will know that when you watch Brooklyn Boys. So we are definitely tired. So apologies if we look like we're dying.
But we will survive because we are comic reviewers.
We have 15 digital books this week. We have about three or four. Four. We have four physical copies this week. And we have one book from a while back.
Yes.
And we're actually going to start with the book from a little bit back. And we actually missed an issue. But we are now officially up to the issue we reviewed last week.
Yes.
Sorority of Power issue number 4.
From Argo Comics.
And this is Mike's book since I'm doing
Yes.
Argo 5.
So issue number 4 is basically a scavenger hunt that the Sorority of Power team are going for. And basically their mission is to look for a magical artifact or like a wand or something, and it's in one of the 3 schools. So basically the leader of the sorority wants Cybersuit, Maushka, and Mushka and Leopardlass each to go to a schools like elementary, middle school, and high school.
Right.
To look for the thing to summon, what's his name? Kozar, right. And he's legendary stuff, and you can read more about him in the comic book. So, first off, I just want to say artwork is really drawn excellently in this comic book each and every time. I do have to admit that. So, as they're going to be in disguise to find this magical artifact and stuff like that, they have to look around and see what they can find, as well as other stuff. So it's very adventurous and actually interesting to see the 3 girls go to 3 different schools, and some of them get respected, and there are others that are, you know, that are always troublemakers and stuff like that. Cybersuit still was very interesting. Like I like the part where when she walked away, like she changed from her regular costume to her cybersuit costume. Like I thought that was pretty awesome. Mushka, I think, got it really bad. Like she had like a bug that got her. So
she had a boy that was teasing her, basically.
Basically, yeah. So you know that part. And they found nothing. There were no magical artifacts and nothing else. So as the issue continued, they find out that Harvey Weeder was the person behind the magical artifact, and also to
no pun for Harry Potter, just saying.
I know. And he's the person that summoned the name of who we said before. So the team, well, Mushka, I think, stopped him the most because of his glasses and stuff like that. And basically he took away the power.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. So, yeah. And there was some stuff here and there where, you know, there were those giggity moments. But the giggity moment, and also the pinup section. There is one pinup section. I did have like nice. No, keep going. Keep going. That one. Mushka on top of the cheese.
Oh my God.
But the others are really good as well. You know, I do have to say much.
I apologize. You really are.
Dan likes when I point these things out, and I really.
I know Dan likes when you point them out.
And you know me, it's 5 giggity goo stars, definite. I'm sorry, I'm sold with this book. I am definitely sold.
I think if Mushka came out of the comic books and asked you to marry her, you probably would at this point.
Well, there is Cybersuit and Leopardlass. I mean, the 3.
No.
You know.
No.
Well, maybe in my dreams. Who knows?
If you have any interest in what Mike's talking about, and if you'd like to check out the awesome Argo 5 or Argo Anthology,
yes,
you can check all those books out and order them from argocomics.com. That's ARGO comics.com. Awesome comics, awesome artwork, really good stories.
Excellent stories as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for Sorority of Power.
And now we're going into the books that were released on March 12th, 2014. And we're going to start with the physical books. No, mine is last.
Oh, okay. So we're going to start with Archie Comics, Sonic the Hedgehog.
And again, Mike did a lot of the reading this week because eventually busy weeks will stop.
I hope so. Sonic the Hedgehog issue number 258 of The Chase, Part 1.
I like the cover.
Yeah. And don't laugh when I say who they're searching for, because this is serious. They're searching for the two professors, Professor Pickle and Professor Charles, known as Uncle Chuck, basically. I never knew that Charles was short for Chuck, really.
You like pickles?
Yeah, so...
I know what else looks like a pickle on you.
Anyway.
Green and slimy.
Nicole is giving a mission to all of them to look for the two professors on a cargo train. By the way, I want to show some excellent artwork right here. It's just really, really nice. Nicole runs into a little trouble with E106 ETA, and the train tracks go very out of control. Amy, I like how they're making her very tough in this issue.
Is that Professor Pickle?
Yes. Who ordered a cucumber sandwich and never got it. Thinks he's in like a fast food restaurant and stuff like that. So each of the Sonic team are trying to go in. Amy's was the funniest when she got on one of the cargos and hit the rocket and like said, like, let's try not to do that again. And then she's warning Bunny, saying, no, don't do that because of the stuff and all this and that. I thought that was pretty funny. So each cargo they found food supplies, and Sonic's was the best, where he found Robotniks. Because you never know, what you're gonna get when you go on the trains. There's lots of dialogue that you could definitely read for yourself. So Sonic goes ahead on the train because he's faster in speed and everything to catch up with the train before it goes off track. And he finds two professors, but there's someone who he also fights with, and that's gonna be
continued. Covers for next time.
I want to get this one. Like, this one's a little bit okay, but I like that one.
Yeah.
Because they're both excellent, the preview covers, but I like that one better. But, oh wow. Me and the professors, but then trouble lurks ahead. As we always see in Sonic comic books. But this is really good. I really recommend this for those of you who've been reading Sonic the Hedgehog comic books, because there are lots of great stuff and adventures that lie ahead in the Sonic universe.
I didn't get a chance to read that, unfortunately.
I have. We are into Zenoscope of Wonderland, issue number 21. And Wonderland, basically like what we saw from the other issues ago, where there's lots of dialogue as well as nice artwork, by the way.
Really nice artwork. That's one thing I can say. You look in a Zenoscope book and you get beautiful artwork and spectacular writing. Love Patrick Shan's writing. Love Raven Gregory's writing.
Yeah. So basically,
Raven Gregory writes this one, right? Yes,
yeah,
I was right.
Does,
I knew it.
So basically, this I forgot what her name was. Like, she's going through some stuff with her mind. Like, she's saying that there's stuffs that are going on with her head and everything. And there's just lots of stuff to take in, like, not in a bad way, like, it's actually in a good way, and all that. And she thinks that she's lost of, like, she has no idea where Violet is, no idea where anything is, and basically it actually refers to Wonderland Clash of Queens issue number 1 of the
which
Sword,
is what we reviewed.
Which is what we reviewed, which I did remember, so...
Well, good for you for remembering. You're so good.
Thank you. So, there are lots of other scenes where she goes through like lots of visions, especially the mirror and the cutting herself and all that, and yeah, it gets very, very. Let's just say things fall apart, kinda.
That's a good way of putting it.
It is a good way of
Sounds really interesting.
It does really sound interesting. Now, I did want to leave some stuff out because I really want you guys to check out the comic for yourself, because there's just lots of craziness and visions that you would never actually imagine you would see.
So you enjoyed it because I know this is your first Wonderland.
Well, yeah, because this actually was really great stuff. So I'll be definitely looking forward to reading more of that from Zenescope. But nothing could ever top the Zenescope comic book. Even though Zenescope comics are great and excellent, this has to go.
This I read right away. Yeah.
Robin Hood Legend, issue number 1, volume 3. Patrick Shan. He's done it again. He keeps doing this over and over again, and this is what I love about this story.
It recaps everything that's happened. Well, yeah, from the last volume, yeah.
Yeah, from volume.
The only question I have is what happened. She was in a jail. No, last time we saw her, she was in jail.
Oh yeah, there was a thing that she talked about that where like months have passed by and
okay, so that's why it's been 1 month.
But artwork, I mean, this is excellent stuff right here. I mean, Robin Hood just really great artwork. So she does her thing where she goes on missions and stuff like that, and when she falls asleep and everything, like she still has these visions of Gisborne, because Gisborne's the one that killed Will in volume 2, and she wants to find more answers and everything else. So she meets with Gisborne along with Marion, who said not to attack Gisborne because there's also someone else who comes, and here's Will.
But there's a twist to why he's alive, which we're not going to spoil.
There is a twist of why he is alive, and it's actually making sense. But I will just say it has to deal with one person, though.
Yeah.
Marion. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say how or why. You got to read this comic book, and it's really good. Like, I thought maybe she was like visualizing it and everything else, but then after hearing the story, she's not visualizing it. This is all real, and I actually like that Will is alive because he was like my other favorite character. And they just talk, and he's talking about how the people of Kree, that they thought that since like basically the people, Cal made the people believe that Robin turned on them. Therefore, the people of not the people of Kree, the people of what was that place called?
Sherwood?
Not sure.
Nottingham?
The Mist. The Mist, yeah. I'm thinking Marvel. The Mist.
Marvel, huh?
Yeah, they're thinking that they turned on her, like she turned on them and everything, and there's also stuff where Gisborne, I have a funny feeling that he's going to turn on the team because of, and there's also a thing where Will has the heart thing, which actually relates to what happened before, and he needs to keep going with some type of crystals and stuff like that, which was mentioned in Robin Hood Volume 2, that the crystals could do a lot of things, which is actually why...
Thanks for spoiling what I didn't want to spoil before.
I didn't say what it does. I didn't say what it does. So, without being forceful once, Robin and the rest of the gang are going to the Mist to find out more information about what's going on in the Mist.
And probably take out Cal.
And probably take out Cal for making the people of the Mist believe that she turned on him. But I'm telling you guys, I mean, I am saving this book to take to Comic-Con because Patrick Shan, I really want you to sign this comic book because each and every time he delivers the best in Robin Hood. And that's what makes me want to keep reading it each and every single time. So guys, Robin Hood, definite pick of the week from Zenescope Comics. And that's my comic. So here's yours.
One of my high picks also this week. The final issue, I was wrong. It's not 5 issues. It's only 3. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Utrum Empire, issue number 3. It ends here. This is the finale to the flashbacks. Basically, we are now at the point in Krang's flashbacks where basically the world that he is on is destroyed. His father still wants to keep fighting until everybody dies, and Krang doesn't want to do that. He takes his people, he leaves his father. He says he's not worth saving, and he sure as hell isn't worth killing either. He actually chooses to save his people by putting them into cryogenic sleep. But before that, in the present, You have the Fugitoid, who is found, and he actually sends a message out, and we find out to who towards the end of the issue. He gets locked up. Krang wakes up and heads back to the center. Once again, we get the flashback where his people are now in cryogenic sleep, where he puts them into cryogenic sleep. Jumps back to the present finally, and we find out that Donnie is actually the one that got the message from Fugitoid. Also, Fugitoid kind of pretends or hides the truth from Krang about what Baxter Stockman's done. Stockman actually was going to kill Fugitoid when he found out that Fugitoid wasn't hiding out. He knew exactly where he was and he thought he was alone. But he actually lies to Krang and makes Krang believe that Stockman helped Fugitoid save Krang's people. Also, we find out that Fugitoid's message might have gone out to a few other people. Mm-hmm. And he actually explained to Donnie they're going to need more than just the turtles.
It's obvious who it was.
No, not really. He sent it out to a few people. We don't know who else other than that.
Oh yeah, but one of them is. Yeah.
This was a nice miniseries. If you're interested in Krang's past, you'll be getting this miniseries. If not, you won't. If you're a huge Turtles fan like myself, you'll definitely want this miniseries. I'm sure with only 3 issues, it'll be a small trade paperback. It shouldn't be that expensive. If you missed out on the 3 issues, either grab all 3 at once, or you could just wait for the small trade.
And the Turtles in Time comics coming out.
Turtles in Time is the next miniseries, and it is starting in July. So you have some break from the Turtles for a little bit.
I'll into it as well, because I liked the video game as well.
But there is a Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird book coming out for the Turtles soon, so there is going to be one little one-shot. Alright, we're going to jump into now the digital books. Let's start with, I want to end on that, so let's start with Dark Horse this week. Okay. The Witcher, issue number 1, since that's what we have up first. Okay. You read this.
Yes,
I read through a lot of it, but unfortunately didn't get to finish, so how was it, Mike?
Well, the beginning was a little bit boring. Like,
yeah, a lot of dialogue.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's lots of dialogue where there are 2 people that meet up with Jacob and Geralt. Yeah, Geralt. And you meet up with this person who is a drowner, with mystical creatures, and basically the plot of the story, just to sum it up, is that Jacob, I think it's Jacob, is looking for the woman that he loves, which is Martha, because he sees visions of her, he hears her voice and everything,
and she's also following him.
And yeah, and also she's also following him everywhere. He could actually feel her presence and spirit. So it's kind of a little bit interesting that I picked up a little bit there, where I said, okay, I'll read a little bit more. And he does actually talk a bunch of stories about meeting her and stuff like that. And the birds are actually a significant part to this comic book as well, because the birds lead them into the direction of where the 2 of them are going to go. So as the birds lead them there, it sends them, through the forest after their whole feast and everything, because they've been out for days. You gotta eat somehow. The birds lead them into this graveyard that actually leads into a big haunted house. Well, they actually meet up with a Witcher. Yeah, I'm not gonna... It's like a Left 4 Dead moment. That kind of what it reminded me of. But after that, it leads them into the house where the birds actually led them to. And here's the thing that really got to me. When they got to the house, and I did leave out a few other stuff because I want you guys to read it, they see Martha, but the door creaks open, and what lurks inside? To be continued.
I know
that part left me going, oh, I wanted to see what was in there, but opening I said it's to be continued, and I'm like, yep, it's to be continued. But it's really awesome. I mean, the beginning was a little bit, so you could skip the beginning part, but the middle to the end is what you should definitely look into.
Star Wars, Darth Vader, and the Cry of Shadows, issue number 4. Now, I initially started reading this series because I was very interested in... I like Darth Vader series. And what I've noticed, since beginning this book is it doesn't really focus on Darth Vader as much as it focuses on one of the clone troopers. And I was hoping at least for the last couple of issues we would get more Darth Vader. We really don't. The main focus is again on a clone trooper who left and then came back and is now Darth Vader's wingman. He gets shot down. He's taken into a hospital by the people that Darth Vader and the Empire are fighting against. There's a big shield around the city. He destroys the shield. The Empire comes in, and it basically ends, but he's the focal point. The problem I have, and that's the very short, abbreviated version of this book, but it was a quick read for me. And my problem with this book is, when I initially started this book, I was saying, okay, it's going to be about this guy, but then it's going to go into Darth Vader also, that Darth Vader was going to play a significant role.
Because he's the main part of the book.
And he's not, and there's only, I believe, one issue. Yeah, the conclusion is next issue.
But wait,
so we're not getting... What?
No, I'm just saying, do you think maybe they left him out for one issue so that way they could build up for the next issue? Because sometimes when they leave
we'll see.
A main character out of one comic book, that means in the next comic book it's going to be even
again, like
huge.
I said, we will...
Yeah, we'll see. But that's my guess.
I don't know. I was a little bit let down with this book. However, with Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi, Force War issue number 5, I was not let down. Shay reaches out to Tau, who is basically X. Basically, his memories were brought back, and he believes that he's evil. He works for the Rakata. He's nothing more than a Force Hound. Shay, I hope I'm saying her name right, reaches out to him and tries to say, you know, you came to us. You saw what the light side is, and it changed you. I brought you into my heart now. You know, you're Tau, you're not a Force Hound, you're not X. And she gets shot by the Rakata, and that kind of wakes him up a little bit more. And finally we get to see the balance begin again, because he was winning. The Rakata guy was winning. He had opened up the universe. The universe was basically his. And in the end, X actually went after him and in the end defeated him. Spoiler alert, sort of, but not really, because we all knew this was coming. Basically, balance is restored, and X and Shay go off on, I don't even know what it's considered.
It's like a mission or something?
Let me see.
Or objective?
Oh, he goes off to explore Tython, and the balance, and Shay actually goes with him, and he doesn't understand why the Master still trusts him after everything that's gone on, you know, in the recent. And she says the Masters put their trust in the Force, and in the end, you defended the Jedi Order, and Tython is again in balance. Your freedom is their thanks. And she asks if he's ready. He says yes, and that's the end. Will there be another chapter before Dark Horse loses the Star Wars title? I really hope so. I love Dawn of the Jedi. I love the whole beginning of the Jedi. I really like the artwork in this book. I love the story that's told, and I really do hope at least we get one more volume. I mean, there's no promise. It says end. It doesn't say end of the chapter. It doesn't say to be continued in chapter 6. All it says is end. And I'm really hoping we at least get one more story out of Dawn of the Jedi before they close it off. Because I believe Dark Horse loses the Star Wars license at the end of this year or the end of 2015. I can't remember at the moment, but if it's a year, we have time for one more 5-issue miniseries. If it's not, if it's 2 years, we not only have time for a 5-issue next chapter, we have enough for 2 more chapters. So I really do hope that we get more Dawn of the Jedi, because I know when they move over to Marvel, if it's not the same writers, it's not going to go the way it's supposed to, and it's going to be horrible to see Star Wars, you know, it's going to be horrible to see Star Wars change hands, especially because Dark Horse is doing such spectacular work with Star Wars, and with the track record from Marvel, that's why Dark Horse got Star Wars, and that's why Star Wars got better. So hopefully Star Wars won't go down again, once it rejoins with Marvel. I'm keeping my fingers crossed there. However, Star Wars would actually end up in the Big 2 review then, because it'll be part of Marvel.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, Mike, you are doing Terminator, Enemy of My Enemy, and we're now at issue number 2. How was this issue?
The issue was basically from what we saw from the last issue. There is lots of questioning with the whole Terminator machines and whatnot, and there's been lots of investigation in the beginning of the book. But we get the lady that we saw from the last issue, the one that did the fake names and all this and that, and she tries to get more money for the watches and stuff, but she doesn't. So the detective, she sees her, and then, of course, like the last issue, she catches her again, and then she talks about like questions about like different types of stuff. Like, I really don't want to give too much away because that'll be giving away what the whole thing was about. But basically, her job is to keep her alive, because her job was really to find her and ask her different types of questions about what's going on and everything else that's in general. And we see the main Terminator, who actually comes back and goes after the main detective. I can't remember what her name was for the life of me. I think maybe Gloria her name was. Like, I'm really like not too sure if they say what her name was. But
Farrell?
Huh?
Farrell Green?
Maybe Farrell Green, probably. But yeah, so they have a fight scene between the two. And what I like about her is that she doesn't like run away. Like, she finds different tactics to try to take him down, each and every way. Like, she tries the knife and everything, and then that didn't work out. So then the Terminator tries to get her with stuff, and she really just gives it to him, like, in a way that she doesn't want to back down. But then at the end, they find out what the detective did and stuff like that. But then the Terminator comes in and starts shooting up everybody, and then it leads into the ending part of it, which is to be continued in a big,
in the next issue. And they actually give a little preview of what's going on in the other Terminator book, which I'm reviewing.
Yeah, which we did.
Salvation. So I'm not going to give any of that away because we already reviewed it. But we get in the timer ring, so give us 1 second, and then we will conclude with the rest of the books from this week. We got a couple more to go, so hang tight, and we're going to click the button and continue on. Alright, and continuing on, we have the final book from Dark Horse this week, one of my top books again from the week of the 12th. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 10, Issue number 1, New Rules, Part 1. And it doesn't waste any time but put you right in the middle of the action. Magic is back. Now, the whole point of Season 9 was Buffy got rid of all the magic.
Right.
So now the magic is restored. However, now Buffy has to pay for everything she did in previous seasons.
Right, and she also has some action when her and Magic, her name was?
Vic.
Oh, Vic, yeah. Vicky, yeah. Both of them are taking down all the vampires and stuff like that, and there's lots of action. Spike actually makes an appearance.
Spike's part of the Buffy series.
I know, but he comes in the issue.
Yeah, but her and Vicky, who Vicky is a vampire, they're fighting off zombie vampires, basically brainless vampires. Right. Whereas Vicky and her clan are brained vampires. And Spike comes in because Buffy knows that after they're done fighting the zombie vampires, she's going to have to go after Vicky and her people. And as a matter of fact, after all the zombie stuff happens, that's exactly what happens. You can continue now.
Yeah, so there's lots of action in this comic book, and the artwork's like really, really nice. And there's like lots of dialogue where they're just trying to find. It's really all about just the zombie vampires, like you said, and they're just trying to like drive away and stuff like that, so that way they don't get too many of those. Like, there is a lot of dialogue as well, along with lots of action that is in the comic book. So it's just something that you would definitely want to see in a TV series if they continued on, because it just, like, I'm trying to put it in a way that it's like really amazing, because it is a really amazing comic book of just them fighting them off, and also teaming up with Buffy's other friends that join in the battle as well, who are really helpful. Can't remember what his name was.
Giles.
Giles, thank you. Giles actually helps her out with.
He's a boy.
magic.
Apparently, he had passed away. I don't know. I have to read previous Buffy, but I believe he died, and Angel and Faith brought him back, or found him and brought him back, or something. But he just says Angel, Faith, long story.
Right, and
Faith is actually in this book, ironically.
I was just gonna point that out, actually, that Faith is, and that was actually great to see Faith in this comic book. So, really, I never saw the TV series until we did the Media Madness and stuff like that, or read the comic book. And actually, I kind of have to say I really enjoyed Buffy the Vampire, so I'll be definitely looking into more of the comic and
Maybe in the physical form.
Yeah, in the physical form, and read more about it, because I recommend it as well.
Alright, so now we are in Dynamite. We have Badass issue number 3. Man, Mike, how did you like that? The past.
The past was like, oh my god.
And explain how he went from being a pimple geek to
having a new face and everything. I think his name is Jack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack, yeah. So he's writing plans about what to do when he comes out of the hospital, and then he meets up with a new rival called Black Snake. And Black Snake has like these razor sharp gloves.
I love the car thing with the picture.
Yeah, I knew you would. And then it just keeps going back and forth, where basically he's with his friend, with his little robot stuff. And when he got the new face, I was I was really curious to see what it looked like, because he's always behind the mask and everything.
When he's an adult, yeah.
When he's an adult. And then when Black Snake makes an appearance, goes back to school where all the girls fall in love with him, and everybody respects him, because not many people.
And now he
bullies
basically.
Yeah, and he bullies
guy.
the bullies who bullied him. So I actually thought that was pretty cool. He makes the team in football, by the way, as a new quarterback, along with the girls that always want to, every single one of them, that he's done something nice for them. And he's been doing great in school, so everything turned out great for him.
Basically his life got a lot better.
Yeah.
And now in the present with Black Snake, it looks like shit.
Yeah, because it looks like Black Snake pretty much pinned him down in a way that Black Snake's gonna have to... that Jack has to try to find out of Black Snake's attack after that, so... Doesn't look so good for Jack in this one as the story.
I still want to know why he was in a psychiatric ward. I want to see how that happened, but beside the point. Moving forward, this is your book also. Legendary, issue number 3. How's that going?
Yeah. Legendary is very classic, but actually explains more of... there are actually... that's the wrong kind.
No, I know. I just noticed I missed the Dark Horse book. I always anyway,
the Legendary... they're in this blimp, because it talks about where they're going and stuff like that. And as the story continues, there are 2 guys who are clones with their leader there, of course. And what was her name? They saw... No, go down. They say her name... No, go up. You're missing it. Well, basically, like they saw her at the table, and they want to eliminate her because of of what she did, past issues of what she did to the other the clones. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like in the first issue or something like that. So one of her friends actually protected her while all this was going on. And he fought off like these big, huge creatures that attack the blimp and everything. Artwork looks very nice, as well as the story, and the creature goes after I can't remember her name. I think it was like, it started with the letter D, I think, or something like that. And she tries to fight off the creature. And then, she can't because she doesn't have her weapons on her because she's basically unarmed. So she uses the assistance for the other people. And
Magna?
Magna, thank you. So Magna gets in trouble with that, where her friend comes in, one with like the long blonde hair, and he really takes out all the guys, even the creature. Like it's like a big tiger, and then one of them's like a big wolf or something, and
Lion.
Well, there's a lion also, and she has friends who really care about her and actually protected her, because without them she would have been
Toast.
probably toasted and crushed in a majorly way, and then she goes in the water, and that's what's to be continued. So. Looking forward to seeing where that's going to lead after that.
I want to jump back to the last Dark Horse book, actually. I did miss this. Skyman, issue number 3, with Captain Midnight guest starring.
Yes, and all of you are probably wondering, is he a friend or a foe? And from what I see, they look like to be friends with each other. Like, they talk about, Captain Midnight invites him to his place, which I thought was very nice, and they talk about each other. As well as Skyman, who is actually being targeted by the other agents because of what happened last issue, where he took the costume where his agent was supposed to be in charge of it, with controlling him and everything. So, they find him as the issue continues after they're talking to each other. And things don't look so well, when they find him. But then when Skyman and Captain Midnight work together hand in hand to take out the pilots who are going after them. And there's a big trouble, though, where both Captain Midnight and Skyman are going to fight off against, after the permission's granted, against the Dark Skyman. So, there's a whole lot. I really hate that agent. I forgot what his name was, but man,
I hated him from the first issue.
I did too. Remember when I talked about it? It was just... I really hope they get him good and bring him to justice, because he really's got issues.
Next is your book, The Spider, issue number 18. How was it?
The Spider, from what I read, like, they explain more of how he's a wanted man and everything.
A lot of talking, it looks like.
Yeah, and then there's this person that goes by name of that does gas. No, dude, you just passed it. Like, no, keep going down. Yeah, that one.
Wentworth Industries?
No, not Wentworth Industries. Like, he goes by a name. Like, she says what his name is. Like, he uses like poison gas and stuff like that. Well, basically, he uses that, and she wants him to go after the Spider and to kill him because he's a wanted man and he needs to be taken down. So, as the issue continues, he, before being the Spider, like, he actually has a talk with Kirk. His name is, thank you, Kirk. Stanley gets Kirk arrested after some stuff, and his wife doesn't really like that very much because she really cares about Kirk more than she does. So one of the cops actually lets him go because he admitted that he was the Spider, and he told him that what's been going on as a mission, and he uncuffed him and told him what needs to be done and everything, which I actually liked about this issue. So he gives him the suit because there was proof that he was the Spider. That's why he did get arrested, because he was wanted. And then there's a big fight scene of the Spider against the poison gas person, because he was going to shoot the woman that actually sent him to assassinate him and everything. However, the Spider wasn't alone because he had someone that was working beside him at that time with that. And then there's just like a whole big fight scene where he fights off against him, and the Spider wins, of course, because he is a Spider. And then there's a big bang in the building that he blows up that he's been talking about. And if you want to know what it's about, you can read it. And basically that's the end of the comic book for the Spider, with great artwork and the story picking up really well. So I guess if you want to jump onto it, it kind of gives you a summary of what it's about.
Or you could just wait for the next issue.
Or, like you just said, they could just wait for the next issue.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, the Shadow, issue number 23.
Yep.
Shadow is back in New York.
He is indeed. And they actually talk about one of the guy's fingers that he cuts off, the one that had the ring on it, because that's really the one that's actually pinpointed in this comic book. Like years ago, about the guy who they got that cut off his thumb and everything, that had the ring on it. So it's a really important role in this comic book, because that's what's mainly talking about. As well as when it comes back to the present, actually the Shadow doesn't actually appear as much.
No, he appears all the way at the end.
He only appears all the way at the end to...
yeah, because the guy's now a bum on the street, basically killing people to make ends meet.
Right, and also he talks about a story of when he was in the war.
And wanting revenge.
And wanting revenge as well. So
and justice, revenge and justice.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of stuff that he's thinking of and everything. And then the Shadow comes in and tells him, like this and that. And he shows him the ring with that actually is familiar to him, since that's the one they chopped off. And he seems to be very familiar with it. And he says that he'll tell him anything that he needs to know and stuff. And with that, that's also the end.
It's kind of a dark ending, because it's like the Shadow's just over him going, justice wishes to be served and justice will be served.
Right, because he only does what justice needs and everything. So basically, yeah. Oh yeah, and here's this one. Oh,
okay, we're in IDW. We're in the home stretch.
The Max, what issue is this, 5? Yeah, the Max issue number 5.
Maximized.
Okay. I was really disappointed in this issue. They made it so cartoony. Like, it starts off where the girl that he's with, I watch cartoons and everything, the artwork is horrible. And the story is all over the place.
Why did this remind me of Hawkeye?
I don't know. And then when they get to the second part of the story they were talking about, like not another story, like when after they leave the cartoon era and everything, then everything's all dark, and I'm like, what the hell was I reading? It didn't make sense. Like, he was looking for something, is the best I can give, because I tried looking over the artwork, and
no,
I didn't like this issue. I would say definitely skip this. This is a skippable book, and if it's going to be like that in the next issue, I'm not going to even bother reviewing it in the next indie review whenever that comes up, but definitely no. Although we are going into something better now.
The Other Dead, issue number 6.
Yeah, here it is. And The Other Dead, there's still the zombie thing going on with the animals, of course, and it's like a zoo when all all this is happening. Like now they have well, after everyone got hurt and everything from last issue, now we got a new pack of animals that got the virus and everything, and it's the rhinos. Rhinos now are actually infected, and basically throughout the whole book, the rhino goes after them and tries to kill them, and they try to stop the rhino each and every way. Like the doors he slammed down, everything, and Thomas, actually, the little boy, was in the middle of the whole rhino thing, but he managed to get out of it, and it's just like really picking up and everything. And there's special forces that are supposed to come any second to help them, and they're hoping that they do that. So the president, not saying that he doesn't believe in religion, he knows faith will come sooner than later. So the army does come to get rid of the whole animal apocalypse that's going on, or what was going on in that sense, and they took care of what needed to be done. So and then there's an epilogue also of an eagle that was infected. So probably this might lead into something else.
Oh yeah, because the shark went and ate the eagle.
Yeah. And now that if it goes in the sharks, that's going to mean not so good things. Because whatever you eat that's infected...
The Other Dead 2 epidemic.
And that's where it's going to lead
Fall
to.
2014.
So we're not going to see The Other Dead until the fall, so that's going to be something of a big development.
And your final book...
Oh, yes.
Samurai Jack, issue number 6.
This book is really excellent, Samurai Jack. It basically talks about, in Samurai Jack, you know, like, he's now stuck in the, I believe the past or something. And he meets up with I thought it was a girl, but it's actually a little boy that was part of the Scotsman. And, well, his name is Scotsman, actually. And it looks like a girl, doesn't it? But
Nancy keyed on
yeah, but there's a reason why he looks like a girl. Because he says the leprechauns actually turn people from a boy to a girl, basically. And she wants to kill the leprechauns, and Samurai Jack's like saying, no, we're not supposed to kill. We're just going to go to them, and we're going to set things right. So they go to the leprechauns, and then he talks to them, saying, like, why are you after him, and this and that, and the leprechauns explain what happened and everything else that is towards it. You should read the comic book and see for yourself. So then they said, okay, so here's a way of how we could settle this. How about, and because they talk about the giant to slay, he's like saying, how about I slay the giant and in return you don't have to do anything else to the boy. And he didn't believe in shaking hands at first, but when he did, the leprechauns turned Samurai Jack into Samurai Jacqueline, which is going to be the next issue title. So basically, they turned him into a girl.
This is going to be very interesting.
This is going to be very interesting. Now, Samurai Jacqueline, I laughed after I read that. I was like, oh my god. Because I knew those leprechauns were up to no good. No good at all. And, yeah. Oh, you're there? Okay.
Really quick, before we get into the last book, I do want to mention Transformers Regeneration 1, issue number 100 came out this week. You have the cover, right?
Yeah.
I did not finish reading it. I have a lot to catch up on Regeneration 1. However, to my understanding, this is the last issue. They wrapped up the first ever series of Transformers with issue 100. It ended a lot better than the way they had to end it a while back in Marvel, which is why we got Regeneration 1 in IDW, where they actually got to finish the story the way they wanted to. Once again, though, they did mention that, you know, again, they were kind of forced to move a little bit quicker than normal, but the ending was a lot better than what they originally had.
Exactly.
So, now we're going into something else that I've been reading, however, spot on, and that's Dark Cybertron, Chapter 11 of 12, Transformers, Robots in Disguise, issue number 27. There is a death of an Autobot in here. I'm not spoiling that until next week's review. So if you're looking for spoilers, wait till next week because I'm not telling. So in this issue, however, though, you have Shockwave has now sent the Minicons to Cybertron to destroy the world. He now has power over time and space. Galvatron is barely still alive. Metroplex is fighting off all the Minicons while the Lost Light lands on Cybertron. You got the Cybertronians, which is basically the Autobots and Decepticons, versus all these Minicons. You have Devastator reformed again. There's a bit of a spoiler there. You have Starscream who shows up. You got Bumblebee and Megatron and everybody going after Shockwave to stop him. You have a huge confrontation between Megatron and Galvatron that happens. And then, once again, there's that huge death that happens somewhere on Cybertron. And then you have, Brainstorm, who hasn't been feeling well for some weird reason. He made this machine up that shows how many people are alive and how many people are dead. And the machine sparks, and it goes from 2 people being in the room alive to 1. And we're like, well, what is... And you're probably like, what does that mean? Basically, Brainstorm is now connected to the dead universe and is the bridge that brings Cup, Cyclonus, Optimus, and Hot Rod back. So they are back on Cybertron, and that's exactly where this book leaves off, to be concluded in Transformers Dark Cybertron Finale, or issue number 2 of 2, the final chapter to Dark Cybertron. Guys, this is a spectacular story from Transformers right now. If you are not reading it, I believe the first trade paperback is coming out really soon, with the second one to follow, I believe 2 or 3 weeks later, or a month later. Pick up the trades. This is a spectacular story. I'm even going to get a physical copy of this story arc, and I will be coming back starting with Autobots, I forgot whatever it's called, right after Dark Cybertron chapter 12. I'm coming back to getting physical copies of Transformers, Robots in Disguise, and More Than Meets the Eyes, starting with the next issues, which is issues 28 for both. And there's also a miniseries, but I think the miniseries I'm going to read digitally.
Yep. And with that,
that's it.
all the comics.
Highly recommend you guys check it out. My pick of the week for sure. I can't wait to review or tell you guys about or talk about the finale next episode.
Yeah, and my picks of the weeks is basically Robin Hood Legend, and second place would have to go to Samurai Jack, and I believe there was a Skyman, actually. Yeah, Skyman would be third place.
Okay. So until next time, everybody, don't forget to check out Comic Related and ComicFrontline.com. Together we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. There's a comment box below. Feel free to leave comments, and your comments will be heard on this Friday's weekly comic book call. So questions, comments, agree, disagree, recommendations, feel free to leave them. Come back for the weekly comic book call, and you'll have your statements and or questions and or recommendations answered.
And also Serenity of Power is also first as well.
Yes, but that's outside.
Yeah, but that's outside. I just wanted to make...
So, until next time, everybody, keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you guys in the next review.
Yep. So,
Take
keep
care.
watching, everybody.
Take care, everybody.